Travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. Welcome back to another Drive and Talk Hanoi edition. Before I get into today's video, I just have a little quick announcement. I have decided to start a brand new YouTube channel. I've been sitting on this idea for a while and I just haven't done it because I don't know why. And I'm actually really excited about this new channel and more excited about this one, honestly, if I'm going to be honest. It is called Drive with Mina, where I post all of my driving videos from around the world. We're going to have Korea footage because, that's where I get the most because, I live here. We're going to have previous Bali, Indonesia footage, Vietnam, and Japan, and eventually, because I just recently bought a plane ticket to go visit Mongolia this summer, and I plan on riding a camel, so we're gonna have a ride with me there, and all of this footage is going to be used on the new channel with some fancy music, and it's basically like if you're watching this booktube video, like watching the booktube videos, but you don't have to hear me talk. You just have to listen to cool music. And I do post. I started just posting shorts. Those ones are stuff you've never seen before on YouTube. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you go give it a follow, a like, a subscribe, or whatever it is that pleases the YouTube algorithm gods. That would mean the world to me. Yes, some of the footage you might have seen before in some drive and talks, but these are full unedited footages on the new channel, and I'm really excited about it. And so yeah, go give it a follow. And also my random world travels, I'm no longer going to post those here because before I was just posting them here because it's like my only channel, but I was like, doesn't really follow like the brand, so we're posting random world travels. I might re-upload the ones that are currently on this channel on the new channel, and then we have a London video made and a Vietnam one coming soon that has never been seen anywhere by anyone. So if you want to see those ones that haven't even been posted here, be sure to follow Drive with Mina. Hit the card, hit the link in the description below. Yeah, anyway, announcement aside, we are back with the last book in the Throne of Glass series, and today we're going to be talking about Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, that kind of rhymes. So yeah, before I get into it, let's give a quick blurb read. And just as a reminder, I haven't listened to the audiobooks of this yet, so some of the names are questionable on how to pronounce, so this is my headcanon. So yeah. Aelin Gelen Phineas has vowed to save her people, but at a tremendous cost. Locked within an iron coffin by the Queen of the Fae, Aelin must draw upon her fiery will as she endures months of torture. The knowledge that yielding to Maeve will doom those she loves keeps her from breaking, but her resolve is unraveling with each passing day. With Aelin captured, friends and allies are scattered to different fates. Some bonds will grow even deeper, while others will be severed forever. As destinies weave together at last, all must fight if Aurelia is to leave any hope of salvation. Alright, so let's get into the review. I am finally out of series jail. It was a wild ride, and though I thoroughly enjoyed it, there were certainly some flaws to go with my praises, so rants and raves and spoilers to follow. If you want to come back after you've read the series, or you just don't care, now's your chance. Now, is it just me, or is Dorian way more powerful than Aelin? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, Aelin is super strong and excellent at fighting and all that, but Dorian is just as strong, if not stronger than Aelin. Aelin has only fire and, yeah, a tiny bit of water magic, and Dorian has this, air quotes, overall magic that can basically do all. He can heal and throw magic at enemies. He's also a talented fighter. talented fighter, and unlike Aelin, he has political training. Not that that matters in the battlefield, but it sure helps if you're leading a country, something Aelin honestly doesn't know what to do in that regards. Oh, and yeah, Dorian can now suddenly steal magic, and he used that magic to learn how to shapeshift. So why is everyone banking so hard for Aelin to save them when they should all be really asking Dorian to do the same? And I know both he and Aelin get their powers zapped in the end, but even with their magic not as powerful, Dorian still takes the cake in my opinion. While I'm glad Aelin wasn't the only hero of this story, I do find it a bit odd that Yrene is the one to defeat the big bad Erewhon. Don't get me wrong, I love that we get more women power in that, and I love that Aelin didn't have to defeat all the enemies on her own. But for those who have read Assassin's Blade, Yrene only showed up in the second to last book, and she plays a major role in how this series ends. And even in Assassin's Blade, we only have a short story about her. I'm glad we see her again, but for a character with such major influence in the story, you'd think she'd at least show up and pass in a few books ago. Besides, in Tower of Dawn. Maybe have her own POV that had nothing to do with the main story, and then meet our main MCs later, just like Manon did. Manon did appear in one book of her own, with her own storyline, but that had nothing to do with anyone before she eventually joined Aelin and the gang. Speaking of other characters, I know Erewhon was supposed to be the big baddie, but honestly, he seemed pretty chill. Maeve was more evil than he was and did far worse things. However, I think that was the point in the end, seeing as it was Maeve who was the last to be killed, and it was Aelin who did it. I do enjoy the Maeve as a villain, however. There was a point where Dorian seemed to befriend her, only the double backstabber. And I was thinking, maybe Maeve is not as bad as we thought, though, yeah, she is. I mean, I should have known. She did torture Aelin for months just for the hell of it. That said, there was something about this book that made it so impactful. I felt the dread and despair. I kept thinking, this is it. They really can't win. But of course, there was always some deus ex machina that always saved the day at the end of every battle that should have been the last. Normally that doesn't bother me. I like seeing which ex machina will happen, but I will admit there were so many. With a bajillion major battles happening all over the continent and multiple battles after that, they were all in the end the same, with someone swooping in the end to save the day. It was a lot. I get it. War is messy and interesting to read about, but there were really a lot of battles, and having a lot of Deus Ex Machina lessens some of the major fights. It's probably why I didn't care for Aedion's chapters until late part 2 of the book. His chapters were met to me. I did enjoy them from Lysandra's point of view, however. I love her. She was so badass and a really interesting character. She deserves better than Aedion too, if I'm being honest. Still, I felt the weight of the war. This series goes darker and darker as it progresses, and I'm here for it. It almost feels like a completely different story compared to the first novel, but that's okay, because while some disagree, the characters grew and are for sure not the same as they were in Throne of Glass. I also love that I don't know what this says about me. Aelin's chapters at the beginning with her being tortured, were some of my favorites, so yeah, I guess take that what you will. She endured so much in Throne of Glass and then some, and her breaking free from Maid's clutches was pretty damn awesome. I will say, however, that her bond with Fenris seems more special than the one she has with Rowan, her actual mate. I'm not saying Aelin wants to be with Fenris romantically, but they did have a trauma bond and a special friendship that is hard to come by. I feel like, especially with this last book, that Rowan is just a really good friend like he was when he first appeared. I was super happy to have Rowan to be a platonic bestie when he first appeared, and then Mas went and made him Aelin's mate, and yes, I did see some chemistry like them together, but I think they work better as close friends and lifelong mates. I'm not mad that Aelin and Chaol didn't end up together, but I think Aelin would have been just fine flying solo and be the badass queen without the need for love. I think she's still young and needs to grow even more as a person, as well as take time for herself to deal with all the trauma she's been dealt before being in a centuries-long, life-committed relationship. But that's just my opinion. All in all, this was still my favorite read in the series. I know that I say that with every book, but with each book it keeps getting better than the last, and this certainly was an excellent end to a fantastic series. While the first 2 books, maybe even a third, were still pretty awesome, I still think they don't stand a chance of being as good as the series gets. That may not make sense, but it does to me, so we're sticking with it. I love how the Throne of Glass series progressed, and I could see myself rereading it again someday. Is it as good as ACOTAR series? Some of the books held up to it, but overall, no, in my opinion. Maybe ACOTAR will always have a special place in my heart and mean more to me because I read it first, but I'd still recommend the Throne of Glass series to anyone who wants to read more in the Mass universe. So yeah, how about you guys, my fellow humans who have stuck with me from the start of this series to the end? Have you read this series? Do you think that the characters actually just grew and changed, or did they just like got character assassinated and became entirely different characters in themselves? Because like I see that a lot in reviews. They're like, this isn't the, I know like she like rebranded herself from Xiliana to Aelin, but like this is like a completely different character. And yeah, she kind of is, but she also isn't, in my opinion. I don't know, reviews vary, but yeah. Have you read this series? Do you plan on reading it? Have you read them all? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anywho, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about stuff, be sure to follow me on all your favorite socials. Links below. And don't forget to follow my new channel, Drive with Mina. Also, links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye!